February 1961, I arrived in Australia. I was 23. We got a bit restless, a friend and myself, after we finished our training, and we went to Europe, and then we came back, and we were going to do our midwifery, and we changed our minds, and then we got the English nursing magazine, and we looked through that, and we found all these places we could go. So we thought of South Africa, New Zealand or Australia. Anyway, Australia seemed to be the more fascinating place because they had little hospitals all over the country. So we thought that'd be a nice place to go. We had to get all these Australian newsletters, mind you, from Australia House in London, to teach us the slang words before we came out here, and to teach us, you know, so we'd understand what they were talking about. It was quite fascinating. I think it was Qantas 747, and they had all, on the inside of the plane was decorated, well, paintings, wattle. There was mostly wattle on the, I'll never forget that. And it took us 36 hours to get here. We left London and went over to Ireland, and then from there to Kennedy Airport, which was Idlewild Airport then crossed over to San Francisco, Honolulu, and we got out in Honolulu. We nearly died with the heat. Got back on and arrived in Sydney. We had to go by a train from Sydney overnight, Sydney to Melbourne. So we were travelling all night to Melbourne. And all I remember is the farmers that looked like Texans, big hats, and coming on the train and getting off the train all through the country. We had to stay at the nursing facility in St Kilda for a few days. Or they took us out to get uniforms, and then they asked us, you know, about where we'd like to go. They had this big map up on the wall, and they pointed a few places. And we said, oh, not too far out of the city. We don't want to be too far out of the city. And they showed us Yackandandah, and they said, that's not so far. But anyway, we left Melbourne a few days later. Then two people from the Yackandandah Bush Nursing Hospital met us and drove us out to Yackandandah. And two of us sitting in the back of the car. There was another girl with me. And we kept saying, oh my God, where are we going? Where are we going? We thought we'd never get to Yack. And then we got to Yack, and they showed us the little hospital. And we walked in the front door, and they had afternoon tea all ready for us. And there was a big notice up on the mantelpiece now. You don't have to be mad to work here, but it helps. And there was only 4 patients in the hospital and a matron. The Border Mail, I remember the Border Mail came out, wanted a story, of course, from us. So our plan was to stay 2 years. And of course, I met somebody, didn't I? I got married in Sydney, and my two girlfriends were bridesmaids, and we went to Adelaide on our honeymoon and went back to live at Yackandandah.